How was that Senior Bowl experience for you?
It was really good to go down there, compete with the guys at the highest level, go down there, show teams what I can do, interview with teams for the first time. It was really good. I'm blessed to be down there. Grateful for the opportunity.
Can you talk about your coverage ability at Oregon?
Yeah, I was asked to really do it all. Guard the running backs out the backfield, run with tight ends vertically, and then sometimes I'll be matched up with receivers as well. So I think that's something that translates to the NFL level. Something that I'm very comfortable in doing. So whenever I am matched up with a receiver downfield or in a coverage conflict, that's no mismatch for me. So. What was that? Yes, I have. Yeah. Formal. Yes, correct. Yeah.
What would it be like to play in a 3-4 defense?
It would be amazing, especially to go in there and learn from guys like Levante, go in there and learn from, Coach Bulls and, especially being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, there's a lot of linebacker history there. So it would be amazing to, just go around down there have a great open mindset, to have a great growth mindset and learn from all the guys down there and, produce for the team.
Was B-Mac in the room?
What was that?
Was B-Mac in the room?
B-Mac was not in the room, no.
Can you talk through some of the formals that you've had and what stood out to you?
Yeah, I had a couple formals, but overall, I think just the first time is your first time going in there, meeting, the GM, the head coach, and I'm so blessed to, just to be down here and actually, just sit down in the room with those coaches, right? Because you grow up watching those videos, you grow up seeing all the Twitter clips of guys in the league, getting drafted, right? And then, now you're the guy in the room. So, it's a full circle moment for sure. I'd have to say that. Yeah, no doubt. I feel like with my background as a safety, being able to cover, like I mentioned earlier, being able to cover running backs out the backfield, run with tight ends vertically, but then as well as be matched up with receivers, especially coming over from DB, that's what you're doing all day, right? Being able to fit the run, off receivers, have certain run fits, but then run with receivers down the field. But I feel like with me moving to the linebacker room, I feel like it becomes very easy to me, right? But now I'm just dealing more with A gap, B gap, C gap, right? Gap exchange with D linemen, right? So I'm really doing it all, and I take a lot of pride in that, right? So I feel like that's what everybody's looking for. You're looking for a guy who has spent his time covering receivers, but then as well as can stop the run as well. And I think that I do that all at a very high level.
Given that versatility,
Because people didn't see it every week. But like, you are not the coverage linebacker who played against Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington in 22. And yeah, you had to pick against Tyler in 23. What we saw at the end of this year, you're not the same player. How are you not the same player? What are the things that made you different than the player 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think just my mental aspect of the game, growing up, getting that knowledge from the game, studying the game on my own, as well as just developing fully my body, the way that I'm taking care of my body, as well as, like I had mentioned, getting to know the game better, and then working on my techniques. Going from some of the coverage skills right now that I'm thinking of my freshman and sophomore year, right, or like you said, not what I am today, right? So working on those skills on my own, I feel like that's what I do at an elite level. Is I'm so strict on myself and want to strive for greatness and strive to improve my technique. Even though it may be good right now, I'm trying to get it to that elite level, right? So I think that's one of my mindsets, and the way that I'm wired that makes me, the great linebacker that I am.
with that versatility, are there players that you study most or model your game after, or you compare yourselves to most?
Yeah, no doubt. There's a couple. Foya Oluokun, I really like what he does down there at Jacksonville. Fred Warner, a linebacker in the league who's been tearing it up for a little while now. Demario Davis with what he's been doing for the Saints. Roquan as well, with just the way that he's really an enforcer. And then as well as Patrick Willis and Luke Kuechly when it comes to linebackers in the days. Had to throw it back a little bit for you, but I feel like Patrick Willis was just an enforcer, a guy who's a savage on the field with a savage mentality. But then Luke Kuechly when it comes to the mindset of the game and really understanding what the offense is trying to do and getting everybody aligned, and when he sees those keys, he knows when to trigger. So those are a couple linebackers that I model my game after.
What kind of teammate was Jamari Caldwell?
Great teammate, yeah. We used to call him Big Ank because that 2 hour when he gets in that 3 tech, he's anchoring down, right? So especially as a linebacker, he's keeping me free a lot of the time. But no, I love Jamari, really good dude. I know he's going to tear it up in the league. So.
Hey Jeffrey, I know he wasn't your position coach, but Junior Adams just made that jump to the NFL. What's going to make him a good NFL
Yeah, I think just how authentic he is. He's authentically himself, and the way that he coaches. I think he coaches with a lot of passion and energy for the game. Right, he wants to get the details right, but then as well he relates to a lot of the players. So coaching those receivers, just like CD, I think him and June will have a great relationship. June is a guy I have a lot of respect for. I've been able to go against him and his receivers for a while, but then as well as me and June have had heart-to-heart conversations as well. So I know that he's a great guy. He coaches with a lot of passion for sure.
Jeffrey,
I have, yes, correct. Really well. Yeah, really well. Went in there, got a chance to meet all the coaches and sit next to the position coaches as well. But no, it was really great. You like I mentioned earlier, you get an opportunity to go in there to a prestigious organization and sit down and learn a little bit of their plays, and but then as well as go over some of your plays and critique yourself, but then also just sitting down there, getting a feel for the coaches for the first time, falling in love with that team and then having them fall in love with me.
What other formals did you have this week so far?
Yeah, so I had met with the Cowboys, Tampa Bay, and then I met with the Rams as well.
Do you have any others coming out?
I think I might have some scheduled for tonight as well. So, yeah.
Jeffrey, outside of your football skill, what do you and your personality bring to a team?
Yeah, I really think I bring a lot of juice and energy. A guy who's heavily involved in the community. A guy who's gonna do the right things on and off the field. But just like you mentioned, mainly off the field. A guy who who is going to give his all to the community. A guy who really wants to give back to the community, but then as well as a guy who people can depend on in the community to look for the example, right? A guy who's going to continue to set the standard and look to improve the area around him just as much as he's looking to improve himself.
Jeffrey, what are some of the keys to your success? What are some of the keys to your success in coverage?
Yeah, I would really have to say eye discipline, and then as well as playing DB. But when it comes to some of my keys to success, I really have to say eye discipline, and then my speed. I think my speed is what sets me off. A guy who's running 21, 22 miles per hour, on a daily basis, with ease, right? So I think just being able to have right eye discipline, great technique, but then speed as well, is going to really do well for a coverage linebacker.
Did you get about your Senior Bowl week and what that was like for you?
Yeah, Senior Bowl was really great opportunity for me, just to go down there and compete with the guys. But I went down there with the right mindset, went down there locked in, just like the guy that I am, went down there with the strive and eager and desire to get better every day, right? But then as well as prove to teams why I should be high up on their draft board and their draft list, right? Because I'm everything that they're looking for in a linebacker, a guy who's a green dot, a guy who can like I mentioned, run with running backs, run with tight ends, run with receivers, but then a guy who's can mold around guys who he hasn't played with, right? But then as well as be trusted with the green dot to get everybody in line and adjusted and make sure everybody's in the right spot. So really intelligent linebacker, really do-it-all linebacker for you, but then as well as on special teams, making an impact, being ready to fill in at whatever position is needed.
Who impressed you on the defensive side that you played with, and who impressed you on the offensive side that you went against?
Yeah, the defensive side that I played with, I would have to say Femi from UCLA. A guy, plays with a lot of juice, a lot of energy. So got a chance to meet Femi a couple of times, being in the Pac-12, Big Ten. But no, he really impressed me. But then you said the offensive side as well. Yeah, offensive side, really have to say Tyler. Got a chance to play against Tyler. So, I feel like, Tyler, so really crazy story about Tyler is when I first got to Oregon, he was one of the first guys, in that spring workout that kind of greeted me. He was like, hey, what's going on? My name's Tyler. So full circle moment, going up against him, Texas Tech, a couple years ago, but then as well going up against him in the Senior Bowl. Got a lot of respect for him.
Jeffrey, I know you only overlapped with him your freshman year, but what was it like playing with Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah, it was really great. Yeah, KT was a guy who was, real hard on me, coaching me, making sure that, I was crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's. I remember a conversation, he was just telling me about pass rush and being able to, the key to it was get off. And I remember we were sitting down after practice one day and he was just walking through with, a young freshman, a young linebacker who got thrown in the linebacker room and, has been, taking that right step to be a great linebacker, right? So for him to be hard on me at an early stage, but then the relationship that we have to this day, I appreciate him a lot.
How would you describe him in one word?
Describe KT in one word? I would say unique. Unique. The reason why would have to be, when it comes to, his football game, being able, he's a great pass rusher, but then also a guy who can stop the run and a guy who's, a physical force, right, playing defensive end. But then as well off the field, a guy who has a great personality, and I love that kid.
What's the most difficult